Mr. Curry, I want to ask you about J.P. Morgan losing $2 billion and possibly more since the OCC was a primary regulator of J.P. Morgan, and the OCC has a well-deserved reputation for being too cozy with the banks that it regulates. And I know you just got to your new position, so you have an opportunity here to decide what the OCC does in the future. And I find it interesting, you know, what I don't want to see is a repeat of 2008. I know that, you know, a free market is essential to our very economic vitality, but there's a difference between a free market and a free-for-all market. And in 2008, what we obviously came to the conclusion of is the consequences of a free-for-all market, where the decisions of large financial institutions became the collective risk of an entire country, even though they were in part of making those investment and other decisions, and then all of us had to pay. And so, you know, I wish we had insisted on capitalization then. I wish we had insisted on a whole host of things that would have avoided 2008, because I'll never forget that meeting with Chairman Bernanke and Secretary Paulson, where they describe largely a series of financial institutions on the verge of collapse and suggested that if they collapsed, not only would they create systemic risk to the entire country, but failure to act would lead us to a new depression. I want to revisit that. Now, I don't know whether people can forget such quick history, because it's recent history, but I don't. So I know you just got to this position. And I'm certainly not blaming you personally for this, but I just have a yes or no question. Did the OCC screw up in allowing these J.P. Morgan trades to happen?
Senator, we're going to critically look at that question. That's part of my goal in reviewing what happened at J.P. Morgan Chase is not just to see what the bank itself did or did wrong, but also how we can improve our supervisory processes at the OCC. So it will be a critical self-review as part of this process.
How long is that self-review going to take you to come to a conclusion?
I hope to have it done as quickly as possible, Senator.
What does that mean?
I would hope within the next several weeks and no more than a few months. But I do want to reiterate that my goal as comptroller is to have a strong, effective, and fair supervision at the comptroller's office, and it is imperative, and the lessons learned from the 2008 crisis are clear to me and to my colleagues at the OCC. We do need stronger capital, which we're getting through Basel III and other rulemakings. We also need heightened expectations, and we're requiring that of the largest institutions we supervise in terms of the bank's management, its awareness of risks, raising their expectations with what we require for minimum reserves, liquidity, and risk management, and also corporate governance, which is critical as
I know you're going to say you're going to review it, but shouldn't the sheer size of these trades have been a huge red flag for the OCC?
That is an issue. The concentrated nature of the trading and the illiquidity of it are red flags that are clearly apparent now.
Well, I just think that for those of us who supported Wall Street reform and don't want to relive 2008, that I think every regulator here responsible for implementing the law should know if huge trading losses like this happen at banks after we establish the Volcker rule and capital rules have been written and implemented, then I think the blood will be on all of your hands if the London whale ultimately goes belly up next time. Because in this case, I know that the comment is, well, they can absorb the $2 or $4 billion, whatever it ends up being. But what if you had, through these trades, what's to stop them from losing multiples of that, billions more the next time, or even more significantly, a less well-capitalized bank from losses that could bring it down? I just don't see where the circuit breakers are here. I don't see where the ability to ensure that, in fact, that type of decision-making doesn't become the collective risk of all of us again in this country. And I don't think the American people, and certainly this senator, are willing to go down that road again. And I don't know what it takes to get everybody to understand that we are serious of purpose here to ensure that the law is fully implemented. Now, I know there are those who disagree with law, but as has been said in the past, Americans are free to disagree with the law. They are not free to disobey it. They are not free to disobey it. And this senator, for one, is going to continuously pursue to make sure that we don't relive 2008. And I hope that all the regulators, but certainly the OCC, understands that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.